Is it time to get out the St. Joseph statues? If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, St. Joseph is the patron saint of family and household needs. During the last real estate downturn, some agents would bury a St. Joseph statue near the for sale sign, hoping for some divine intervention in getting the home sold. But do we need St. Joseph again in our current market? Hi, I'm Francine Viola, Realtor in Olympia, Washington, and here is the latest market update for what happened in July. Let's just jump right into the numbers and then we can chat about what this means for you. Interest rates are down from their highest in June from 5.81% to 5.22%. Good news for buyers. Homes actively for sale is up to 645 listings in July. That is more than double from last July. Also good news for buyers. But Thurston County is still in a seller's market with 1.5 months of supply. Still good news for sellers and good news for buyers, as buyers have more to choose from. Our market was down to a 2-week supply of homes earlier this year. Home prices are up 16% from the previous 12 months. Good news for buyers as the sold prices are moderating, and good news for sellers because they are still getting above average returns. In fact, during this current seller's market, which is going on 8 years now, if you can believe that, our market has only been higher than 12% gains since early last year. So lower seller gains are more normal for our area. The number of home sales is down from last July, from 622 sales to 457 sales in the county. Not the best news for sellers. More sellers would have liked to have sold in July. The market has shifted from the intense seller's market to this less intense seller's market that we have today.
Less intense and emotionally possessed than normal.
This is all because the demand has changed. And demand has changed because of the higher interest rates and the increase in supply. The interest rates almost doubled in about 3 months' time. That was a real shocker for buyers. For some, this put them financially out of the market, and for others, they chose to back off their home search to see if rates would settle down. Freddie Mac says interest rates will most likely not settle down and will continue to be volatile and fluctuate this year. However, the recent dip in interest rates gave buyers the optimism and confidence to ramp up their home search. Buyers do not want to chance that rates will spike up again, so they're not wasting time in finding a home. The increase in the number of homes for sale also has affected the pace of the market. With more homes to choose from, the intense competition amongst buyers has dissipated for many listings. If sellers are still expecting to receive 15 offers from cash buyers waiving their home inspections and offering 20% over the list price, that is not an accurate view of the market today. On the flip side, this also doesn't mean buyers can expect to get a home for half of the asking price. Let's take a look at the breakdown of sales for July. Of the sales in July, about 24% of those were below the asking price. The other 76% were at or above the list price. The dollar amounts that were higher or lower than the list price were very modest. The median amount below the list price was $10,000, and the median amount that was over the list price was over $13,000. These are not wild and crazy amounts. This is really the point I want to impress upon buyers and sellers today. Our market is in transition and is smoothing out the extreme highs, but we are very far from hitting the extreme lows. Buyers, this is your window of opportunity because there are a lot of homes out there on the market for you and interest rates are moderating. As the year progresses, listings will taper off, so this is your prime time for home choices. Because of the increase in inventory and less buyer demand, the buyers who are shopping now most likely won't be in a fierce bidding war, which therefore keeps the sales price reasonable. Make sure you are financially ready to go, whether that is getting approved for a loan or having your cash ready. And negotiate smartly. Submitting an offer that is well below market value, aka the lowball offer, is probably not going to accomplish what you are hoping for. And I think this would be good to talk about further in another video. But for now, a savvy negotiator understands the market, understands value, and understands the seller. In the little pamphlet that comes with the St. Joseph statue, not only does it include instructions for burial and a prayer, but it also provides tips which you might have heard before. Even though you have engaged the power of St. Joseph to sell your home, it is wise to also continue with typical methods to sell real estate. Properly price your home, remove clutter, take care of deferred maintenance, keep the home clean, and be different than the competition. Showings may be a little slow in comparison to this past spring, and it may take a couple of weeks to receive an offer. This is currently the new normal, but it doesn't mean you missed your window. It's just the pace of the market has changed. If you are thinking of making a move, call me today and let's chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.